Morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's edition, NBC Markets Morning Call. It's the 26th of August. My name's Mark Gardner. Phil de Lochry, how are you, mate?
Well, Mark, how are you?
Very well, very well. As our Grok-inspired counterparts are showing there, on the screen, last stop was a bit of a yawn. Nvidia made a little bit of a bounce back. The stocks was up, I think 1.5%. Oil and bond yields eased back. I think the 10-year was drifted back about 7 basis points, which is a fairly chunky move. Micro and AMD were up 2.5 and 4.9 respectively. Nvidia up 2, snapping that 7-day losing streak, which is, I think, was the longest since 2022. Consumer confidence in the US fell to 89.4, 7-month low. And really, I've got to say, in terms of sort of news, there was bits and pieces out, but I've struggled to pull things together this morning. To be honest, there wasn't really anything to. Brent crude was down about 6. I think advances beat decliners, nearly 2 to 1. So that volume's well below the 20-day average. So really, for those of you just listening, the energy sector fairly red, chip stocks, mildly green, and some of the software stocks are a little bit green, but some are also, it's very mixed. It's very, very mixed overall. Target got belted 4%, as we'll see in a moment why. They decided to release this Halloween costume. They were down a hell of a lot more than that at one stage. But they've been accused of blackface. Look, you guys be the judge of that. I'm pretty sure that maybe the intention was not there, but I think they maybe need to get someone in marketing, to vet their costumes. I think it's pretty important overall. But we were led higher yesterday. I think by BHP, record highs, which go beyond, we've long been BHP advocates. I was sort of, mocked and made fun of for a good probably 12 months when CBA was at 190 and BHP was in. It's definitely our biggest position here at MPC, and not entirely sure. I sort of feel a bit nervous about it. It's nearly at $70 here, but. I don't know.
I don't feel you could add to it.
Oh, you definitely couldn't add to it.
I know, yeah.
But we were pretty heavy long at 36, $37. So I'm probably just worrying about nothing because what worked for CBA at 190 probably should work for BHP in that passive flow.
True. It's overtaken CBA, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. So China was down yesterday. And we've got, I think I should have put this chart in, but I stupidly did not. But I think there's some stats around Chinese stocks are approaching their worst underperformance relative to the S&P 500 in history. I'm just not quite sure what the time scale is there. It's on bar chart. For those of you who follow bar chart on Twitter, very handy little account for interesting stats like that. But maybe the Dragon's worth looking at, DRGN or Asia ETF, or I think DRGN's much more China related, Asia a bit more. So, but overall, we'll get through that. That was in bit of semiconductors versus the S&P. This is over the last decade. So I think that despite the semiconductors being up nearly 1,400% on this chart, I think the most frightening thing is the S&P being up 252%.
Where's the ASX then? We don't put that up.
No, it didn't make the scale, unfortunately, overall. But ASX earnings yesterday, mate. Obviously, run us through.
Orbs, obviously, insurance broker that reported quite well, up 4%. And of course, one of the big one was Coles, so up basically 5%.
That was really strong, right? There was people raving about that. And we've obviously got Woolworths today, so we'll see what happens there.
Fish and Pike or nothing, Dairy Maple, nothing. Monadelphous.
Dalrymple Bay was down. It was down early. I don't know what necessarily turned that around, but Monadelphous record result. I think they just gave fairly middle of the road guidance
for 2027. I think,
consolidation year they said.
Doesn't sound too bad to me, but yeah.
Well, I think a lot of those mining engineers, engineering stocks. So they were trading at quite high multiples. I don't know what Tyro said.
Tyro, who knows?
I saw an interesting tweet yesterday from Claude Walker on that. Apparently, in their annual report, they decided to publicise the fact that they recycled 20 kilos of aluminium coffee capsules. Don't know what that's got to do with the earnings. I think you're probably struggling for good news if you're putting that in there. So it was down 5%, underwhelming. Viva was down a bit. And
Woodside never hit on.
But there was some good language out of Woodside, though.
Yeah.
They said something along the lines of, well, the AFR's called them woke, but they're but they're focused on bringing back value to shareholders. So, I mean, I think that's the first time I've heard that out of Woodside's mouth for a while. But and when someone takes over a BHP asset, they generally do pretty well over a 5 to 10 year period. So, who knows whether, what this does. But big day today, mate.
Yeah. Domino's be interesting. We'll see. Lovisa, there's another consumer stocks to see how that goes.
Well, and consumer growth. So hopefully, it's probably in that, not really in that Temple and Webster character, but very much a growth.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of store openings and stuff. I think they've done pretty well.
Yeah, they're a pretty good company. I mean,
pretty good. I've spent a fair bit of time standing outside them while my boys buy, all my boys buying presents for girlfriends. Now that they're 16 and 14, but girls, buying stuff. But
they got quite a bit of a presence in the States.
And they've gone global. But Woolworths, as we said.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. WiseTech, we're all watching that quite closely around here.
Yeah, fingers, toes,
everything.
I'm crossing my eyebrow hairs at this juncture. I think everyone's on the pre-mat for that. Short of them being accused of war crimes, I'm not entirely sure what's left of them to be accused of. Nothing would surprise me at this point. If that report says, record profit, but we're being taken to the Hague,
let's just
would just watch the price action, I suppose.
Paladin as well. Uranium has been on a bit of a move.
It has been,
It's quite a short. It was quite a short of stocks. It's actually been on a bit of a tear, actually.
It's
up about. I don't know.
They do love shorting uranium. And I mean, Cameco is like, Canadian biggest producer in the world, uranium, and they've rocketed.
What was uranium up last time? Was that February?
What do we got here? It was up around. It was up 5%.
Yeah,
the best performing ETF.
That's what I thought. 5.8.
That's good for BHP as well. They're the third biggest uranium producer in the world, but it's a byproduct of Olympic Dam.
Okay.
So it didn't actually even get a line item in their annual report until this year. If uranium gets high enough, they can switch. It's the biggest known deposit of uranium in the world, Olympic Dam. So, they may.
It's a good thing to have in your back pocket, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Switch it around. Or
calendar here. Wesfarmers tomorrow. Obviously, CPI today in Australia.
Nvidia
tonight. So that's the massive one everyone's waiting for.
Is that aftermarket or pre-market?
That'll be about this time tomorrow, or a couple of hours before. I saw a few articles this morning about that. It just basically said beating's not good enough. It has to be, and I don't. Nvidia's too big of a company to beat by a significant margin anymore. I mean, there's only sort of so much money in the world. I mean, can't sell GPUs to everyone. So and there was something from OpenAI last night actually that they reckon that they've got a GPU that's better than Nvidia, but it was a one line. I'll have to investigate that today. But overall, So I mean, and Salesforce would be interesting in terms of the SaaS apocalypse or which the SaaS apocalypse is turning out to be. Well,
Intuit reported last night. It was down.
10, 9
or 10%. I mean, that's not massive.
Yeah, but not much detail there. Really, that may affect Xero, which we'll report tomorrow as well. We had the webinar yesterday. You can get it on demand now. Kai and I, there was a few technical difficulties, which is not, probably not great for a tech webinar, but it was audio visual that was the issue. But yeah, we're about 40 odd minutes. It's available. Just go to the website, nbcinvest.co/webinars. You can get it on demand. Just register there. We've got a no hassle sales policy. Well, we don't really. So you're not going to get bloody harangued if you register. We've got an investment for this as well, where we're doing 3 pairs. Obviously, Software Survivors, which you invested in.
I am very happy with that. What, up 400 and something%?
Well, we did a cybersecurity pair, which was 5 months and 400+% return on invested capital. PME and Vivo in the US. That's I think that was up 100% for half, and we've still got half on. And look, WiseTech, if WiseTech rallies today,
3 for 3, and I'll be happy.
It could be 3 for 3, but I mean, look, I've learnt my lesson praying, being on the pre-match for WiseTech. So not down is a good result in my mind. But if WiseTech rallies, that'll start to head up as well. So we do these thematic pairs. I mean, it's about the next phase of AI. It's a 2-year investment, very capital efficient, and very, very well risk managed. So our clients really love these, and we've also got some fixed coupons coming up later on in the week, early next week as well. So if you're interested in structured products, structured investments, you want some yield around 10 to 13%, backed by listed stocks, and a little bit of upside leverage in them, in some themes over a couple of years, and you don't have to watch it. Well, these are the perfect things to do. So sorry guys, we're just trying to stretch it out. It's such a boring night basically, exactly. but have a great day, everyone. Hope your earnings results go well for your portfolio, and chat again tomorrow, mate.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Bye.